In this video, I'm going to demonstrate the 7 different kinds of bells that are on this vintage Schulmerich carillon. The carillon includes English bells, Flemish bells, Harp bells, Celeste bells, and Quadra bells, as well as chimes. Some of these bell types are intended to imitate actual cast bells, and others are special sound qualities which were developed as complements to the cast bell sounds. So we'll start with the English bells. Those are the most basic Schulmerich bells that were made. These bells are not tuned in the same way that carillon bells are, and so the name that Schulmerich came up for them, being English bells, was simply intended to imply a bell that's not a carillon bell, but a bell that you might hear, for example, in English change ringing. This name actually created some controversy because there are also carillons made in England, and it caused some confusion among people who didn't know, thinking that English bells wouldn't be carillon bells. And that's not necessarily true. But these are Schulmerich English bells, electro-mechanical bells, so the sound is created by a small rod which is struck and the sound is amplified. And these particular bells can be played in limited harmony, a few notes at a time, because of their strong overtones. So here are the English bells. The next bells are the Flemish bells. These bells are tuned to have an overtone series which closely approximates that of a cast carillon bell, including a hum tone which is an octave below the strike. This was a big technological advantage or advance for Schulmerich in the 1940s. It was done by a clever arrangement that I'll show you when I open up the cabinets in another video. But these Flemish bells, because of their octave hum tones, can be played in thicker harmony than the English bells, and are, as I say, a fairly close approximation of the sound of a cast bell. The highest note in the Flemish bells is a high C, which would approximate a 20-pound bell, and the lowest bell is a low C, which would be the equivalent of about a 20-ton bell. So here are the Flemish bells. This instrument also includes 25 chimes. This 2-octave set of chimes approximates the tubular chimes that you'd find generally connected with an organ. And in fact, this unit, it's behind me on the wall here, was originally an independent chime unit with its own keyboard, and probably was attached to an organ at one time. The chimes are generally designed for one note at a time playing. The overtones are very strong, so I'll play them that way for you right now. They're really a very beautiful sound, and in fact, when you combine them with some of the other bell types, they can be very effective. There are three sets of auxiliary bells on this instrument: the Harp Bells, Celeste Bells, and Quadra Bells. These bells are not designed to imitate any kind of actual tower bell, but rather to serve as a complement or an accompaniment to the bells that imitate tower bells. So the first of these, the Harp Bells, has a sound that is soft and plush and suggestive of the sound of a harp. I have it in a 4-octave range here. I'm missing the bottom octave, so it goes from a C, below middle C, up to 4 octaves above. So here's the harp. Very pretty sound on its own right. It's also very useful to blend with other bells and to use as a foil for other sounds. The next set, the Celeste Bells, sounds an octave higher than the harp and has a brighter timbre, and it's also more delicate. The third type of auxiliary bells are Quadra Bells. Quadra Bells have some of the qualities of the harp and some of the Celesta. They're a little bit richer in tone, but they still have a bright edge. So if you go from harp to Celesta to Quadra, you can hear the differences between, but also the similarities between those three timbres. That's partly because they are all generated from the same rod. So harp, Celesta, and Quadra are actually derived from the same tone generator, but they're achieved by striking the rod in different nodal points or antinodal points, and having a different striker, a different quality of striker. So the harp rod is actually, or the harp sound is made by a striker that has a nylon tip hitting the rod. It makes it very soft. The other two sounds are a metal striker, which allow those brighter overtones to come out. And also by striking the rod in different points, it actually excites a somewhat different set of overtones in the rod. One more set of bells to show you, and that's the minor tierce. The minor tierce are very different from the other bells in this carillon. They are still effective in chords, and yet they have a very different overtone structure, and they do have minor thirds in them, as the name minor tierce suggests. They are in a 61-note set in this instrument, so here's the low C, and it goes up to this high C, 5 octaves above, which not even sure the camera's going to pick that up. It's just a brief little sparkle of a sound. These bells sound great in chords. They're also very effective when added to another kind of bell. So for example, you could take a harp bell and combine it with the minor tierce. get an almost carillon bell-like effect, but more muted and a little hollow. You can combine any of the types of bells together. Some combinations are more effective than others, but there are lots of possibilities. Beyond just the 7 types of bells, you also have additional possibilities, because on this console those bells are available at their regular pitch and also at what's called 4-foot pitch, an octave above. So I can press middle C, put the 8-foot Flemish bells on, and I have that pitch. If I choose the 4-foot, pressing the same key, I have a note an octave higher. By pressing the 2 together, I now have twice as many notes at once. So it's possible to make some pretty powerful sounds by blending those notes, or those sets in octaves together. Makes a pretty full sound. The other thing that you can do is blend one octave of one type of bells with a different octave of another type of bell. So going back to the minor tierce and the harp from before, I could put 8-foot harp and 4-foot minor tierce together and get yet another timbre. And of course you can combine any of these combinations you want and in any combination of octaves you want. So it really allows the 319 bells that are part of this instrument to function almost as twice as many bells. And also all of those bells are available on both manuals as well as in the pedal. So there's quite a lot of possibilities to orchestrate your music on this instrument. I will, as I said before, open up some cabinets in the future and show you the actual tone generators. It's pretty interesting to see how these sounds are produced. But for this video, I just wanted to give you an idea of what the sounds were like individually. Please remember to subscribe to my channel. If there are questions you have, I'd be happy to make special videos, so please ask any questions you may have in the comments section, and check out my music videos that I have posted. I'm going to keep putting more things on there. You'll be able to see the results of combining some of these different types of bells together. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.